Hi, guys, and welcome to the second Women in Nautica podcast episode, All Things Marketing. We have Michele Durkin today here with us. Michele, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We're today to learn how to be the best in marketing and make the most out of our campaigns, both online and offline. So for the people who don't know you, can you tell us a bit about yourself? So your educational background, where you're now?
Sure, very different. I was used to construction and agriculture, but the more I looked at more marine and the brand and all that they do, I just fell in love with it and thought it's really exciting and
Nice.
to be involved in it. Yeah. So that's why I'm now working at Yanmar Marine.
Nice, nice. Sounds like a great career path, and for sure the boating industry is very specific and has its own perks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
And you were also one of our attendees at the Women in Nautica conference in Zagreb. So how was this experience for you?
I have to say, I enjoyed it. It was very well run, very professionally run. I like that you had, the translation available as well. So it wasn't just, you didn't miss out on the local language. We were able to understand it all. The speakers were very good, very different topics. You talked about sustainability and then, women working in the industry, different experiences, and also, the boating industry, in Croatia and that area as well. It was very good, very well run, and I'm a bit jealous that we don't have it, here in Amsterdam. It would be great if we could do something similar for the rest of Europe, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and more international, where the plans are to make something special next year. So we will stay tuned for that. And you said about women working, so we will start upon with your career. I did some LinkedIn research. So you started with customer service. So what would be the connection between customer service and marketing? AI started playing a big role in that as well nowadays. But what's your personal opinion on chatbots and similar platforms for customer service?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of tools out there at the moment. There's a lot of noise around AI and different types of tools, but they need to be a bit more seamless for the customer, be able to maybe connect to different applications in the back end so that they can really help a customer immediately and not say, oh, you need to call customer services, or I'll find someone to talk to you.
Yeah.
So being able to help the customer seamlessly and immediately without that human interaction, it's not there yet, I don't feel.
Yeah, we still have to give it some more time. But personally, at the moment, you're very much engaged so with web applications, digital design from the website to event marketing, social media marketing. That's a lot to handle. How do you make it all function together? How do you run all these different segments?
Clear strategy and objectives. We use a lot of project management tools as well. So a big planner. But I think for me, the key is really to establishing and aligning everything, having a unified vision and a goal, understanding your brand identity and your target audience is really important. For events, we're looking to create, experiences that really resonate with our audiences and reflect the brand values. So, of course, we also use events to generate content while we're there. That can be for social media. We're looking for photography, video, and also, testimonials. But by being consistent and understanding our brand, that helps us with all the brand design and the visuals that we create for them. We're being consistent with messaging also. And when you integrate all of these things, it gives you that unified strategy and vision. And then hopefully the customer has a seamless experience, at the event and also online. That's basically what I hope for. And, how I cope with all that workload is using a project management tool and basically planning everything out.
Yeah, yeah, and also being consistent and having the basics laid out, like a media kit
Absolutely. So for all our events that we do, everything is planned out, but all the media, people think, I think because they see seamless, visuals on social media and everything that we do, but behind that, all that work, like for every event, there's a media plan for what we want to produce each day, and that has to be produced on site, and then the team are uploading assets, and there's an approval process. So all of that is all, planned out. The same for the design. Events have to all be, planned out from design to, marketing materials that we show, even taking care of our own people that attend the event. Also, there's also another mini event on the side and looking after your staff that are attending, arranging things for them also. But it's being consistent, understanding the brand and your values, your identity, and all of that should feed into events, social media, and everything that you do.
Yeah, and maybe also to reflect into content. Nowadays, everybody says content is king. How much do you struggle with actually producing content that is captivating? I mean, that's a struggle for everyone
I think that's a
nowadays.
struggle for everybody. I have to say, content is a key thing. It is key for us. We're a very experience-led kind of business unit and everything that we produce, because we manufacture engines, but we also are about, making sure that life is enjoyable on the water and about experiences, and we try to show those different experiences. So we actually spend a lot of time on content. We have 2 or 3 people that work on content all the time. Every week we have a meeting on content. We work with lots of different brands. We're always asking people to create content. So it's very resource heavy. And what might be, engaging one week may not be next month.
Yeah.
So things change, and it really depends on the experience or the type of content that you show. And you can get a surprise where something that you think it's good enough to be shown on your channel, but you don't think it's particularly exciting, suddenly takes off, and oh my goodness, this is done really well. What do we do different? So it's also about analysing and looking at what we're doing. We do have a pretty good strategy in place for the background of how we place things on social media also. So we do constantly report and analyse on what we do each month also. If something doesn't work, why didn't it work? What can we do different? Let's try something different. We're not afraid to experiment either with what we do. So I think that also maybe keeps it exciting.
Yeah.
And if we're excited, hopefully we can tell that story and make other people, excited about what we're sharing.
Yeah, and we're in the boating industry. Of course, you cannot use any viral thing or viral video that is online and just make a stitch of it. I mean, unfortunately for some occasions, but you need to just stand behind the name and behind the face. And the industry in that sense maybe is a bit more conservative, but I still think there's a lot of opportunities to make great content.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it also depends on, the channels. We just recently started TikTok. So with this, we want to be a bit more fun, a bit more exciting. So, and also, look at a younger audience. Different channels have different age groups. There are different things that they want to see. So we're experimenting with TikTok a little bit to show a bit more of the fun side, and that channel will definitely be different for us to show. And also on YouTube, we're experimenting with shorter content actually on YouTube. We found that by using YouTube Shorts, we were able to appeal more to a younger audience, because of course they want quick content that they can see. So that has worked really well for us. So not just the type of content, the exciting content, but also the length of content as well, so that you actually get people to engage with it.
Yeah, it's a big question of attention span nowadays.
From what I can see online, it's quite short.
Sure. And what would you tell? What are some main biases when it comes to marketing?
I think, always assuming people think rationally, which I don't think that they do. I think if you think of the exposure effect of, and it's a very common thing, but the more likely people see it, the more they accept it or will use it. So I think that's really possibly the main bias for me, is the more you see it, the more you will be influenced by something. So really those consistent messages where it feeds into our marketing is about being consistent, getting the reaching people, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And you also had a big task and a big job organizing the marketing segment by following the America's Cup this year. I think this has been a huge and
Oh
also
yes.
great project. I think some of the listeners might have also followed it on YouTube too.
Yeah.
So, can you give us a sneak peek or inside info how that went?
Oh yeah. Of course, it was the time I've been involved in the America's Cup. We hired Matthew Sheehan. He is a sailing journalist, and he basically has created this series on YouTube. And we've also shown it on social media channels. But what our message to Matthew was when we met him last year, you know, I said to him, I'm stupid. I don't know anything about the America's Cup. And your goal is to teach us by the end this time next year. I want to know everything about the America's Cup, you know, break it down for people and the technology. I wanted to know all about the different types of racing, the rules, the athletes, the teams, you know. We also went into the history about the competition of the Cup. And it's turned out to do really well. And I just finalised the figures yesterday for this, and we've reached over 31 million people.
Wow.
With this content. So we've never measured anything like this, and I'm super proud of what we achieved from this. So it's a great way of reaching people. And it wasn't just about that we are sponsoring, you know, the America's Cup. Well, it was, but we wanted to also educate people about this great race that's been, you know, around for a very long time. And it's very much kind of a rich man's sport, if you like, where they have to have a lot of money to be in this sport and to enter this race. But the people behind it, who actually, the athletes who are actually, you know, racing, I mean, it's terrifying. I went on a simulator of one of the AC-75s at the America's Cup experience in Barcelona. And they're really in this very narrow boat, very little room. They're going at speeds you can't imagine, that technology, you know, for sailing has never seen before. And I didn't realise that the winner actually can make the rules for the next race. You know, they kind of set all the rules. Yeah, so the winner sets the rules for the next race and the type of boat, that type of thing. So I hope it's in Barcelona again the next time. But it was very exciting, and then I was able to visit Barcelona and witness the racing, so it was pretty cool. But this type of content, and it seems to have resonated with people who are maybe interested in sailing and they might not have seen the America's Cup before. So this is where I experimented a little bit on YouTube, because the long versions was quite an older audience, over 50, and then by switching to shorts with the America's Cup, we broke them down into shorts, the episodes. The audience flipped to very young people from like 18 plus. So we went to under, you know, young 18 to 35 range that were suddenly really interested in the America's Cup and the content. And I have to say hats off to Matthew, because, you know, he made it really interesting. Great commentary. He explained everything. Even the wind conditions, we even had an update from what the umpires see when they're racing, which no one's ever seen before, and how they know if someone's made a fault or a mistake, you know. It was very exciting to be part of it. I hope if we sponsor it again, we can do something similar. But yeah, this type of content, I think, was really exciting for people.
So cool, so dynamic and engaging. I can imagine it was a great experience. I also was at Barcelona, the museum. We also tried a simulator there. It was.
Did you go in it?
Yeah, it was. It was
a bit claustrophobic, isn't it, when you're sitting in it?
a bit, but I wanted to do a second round because it was actually very fun for me. Usually, I'm not a big fan of VR, but this was really cool. And yeah, but of course, I didn't go the second round, but for the next America's Cup. So anyone who wants to learn something about America's Cup, just go to Yanmar Marine International's YouTube channel and check out the series. I think you can really learn not only about the cup, but way, way more.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't think, because when we were talking about it, I don't think there's ever been a kind of series that has explained the America's Cup to people or broken it down into, being able to understand all the rounds that go on for the actual America's Cup. It starts, it's last October and the racing ended in October.
Yeah.
So it kind of, there's all these different rounds, qualifying rounds. So he explained all of them. And also it was great to see for the first time a women's race.
Yeah, for sure.
So I actually watched the women's racing on the times that I went, which was really nice to see. And it's the first time that they've ever done it.
Yeah.
So I hope that continues.
Yeah, me too. And you mentioned education, of course. It's something important to do in-house. What would be some of the main capabilities you think that a successful marketing manager should have, or maybe something that you're looking in team members engaging with marketing?
I think for me, it's definitely having experience, and you've got to be hands-on. You've got to be excited about marketing to do well. Of course, there are always things in your job that you don't like doing, but to be an all-round marketeer, you have to love events. It's the biggest part of our job. You have to be digitally savvy. You have to be able to keep up to date with what's happening in different channels, especially in social media and digital online. You don't have to know everything technical, but you need to understand how to reach an audience and how to be able to adapt. There's also different types of digital things. There's design, there is, online advertising. So it's being able to reach audiences, but understanding the different channels on how to reach people. And also, I think for me, I've just worked in marketing that long that I've done, the hands-on work in different types of marketing, that I know what we want to achieve and always wanting to progress to the next level. For me, it's kind of a personal thing for the team that I want our team to, meet all of our objectives. But certainly, I'm looking for someone who can do what they say on their CV. So it depends on the type of role. But definitely, I think now we really need, and we've got that at the moment, experience. You have to get the experience in the different types of marketing, because you can specialize in advertising, you can specialize in social media, but a marketing manager needs to have maybe done all of these things for sure to be able to manage a marketing team, I would say.
Yeah, so you need to be open to learning and just to do the job.
I think so, yeah. I mean, you can hire someone to be a marketing manager, but if they don't know about all of these elements or have done these elements to be able, they've done these different types of jobs to be maybe able to challenge, a team that is doing the job for you, then I don't think, for me personally, it would work. You need to have maybe done all of these jobs or different elements of these jobs to be able to run a team and to get the results that you want.
Yeah. So now that you shared a bit of this business insight with us, let's get to know you a bit more personally. So you mentioned at the beginning of the show that you transitioned to the Netherlands 15 years ago. How was that transition for you?
It was a lot of things happened all at once for me, actually, because I had two babies, they were 1 and 3 at the time, so it was the right age to do it. My husband got a job here, actually, so we moved with his job, and I left my job in the bank. I used to work in a bank in the UK, and I'm moving over here, but then we moved here, and he went to work on the Monday, and I was left in a strange country with two babies, and suddenly, no support network. But yeah, you adapt, and I made friends. I joined a mums and toddler group with all Dutch ladies, and they spoke English. And from there, I made a couple of friends who helped me out a lot, and met some expats who were also from different countries. And then when my children went to school, I went back to work, actually, because I kind of experienced, I've never not worked, or been a stay-at-home mum. And then and that's actually how my husband sold moving. Oh, you won't have to work. You can be at home with the kids, take some time out. Yeah, and you think, oh, great, when you're working full time. But I actually struggled with it because I'd never not worked. So it was a struggle for me not to work and kind of not to have my routine and being challenged,
Yeah.
I like to be busy, I like to be organised, be doing things, and suddenly, I didn't have any goals. My goal was, I enjoyed being with my kids at first, it's great, but then when the kids start to go to school, you realise, there's nothing for me. I wanted my own work ethic back again, I wanted more. So I basically went back to work, and I was in the Japanese company my other Japanese company for about 8.5 years. And then I had a call about Myanmar Marine. So yeah, it's very difficult. I'm very used to the Dutch. The Dutch are very direct, and I think now I'm probably more direct than the Dutch people. So a couple of people tell me, but I think that's just me. I think I'm direct with the Dutch people, but I actually quite like it because they're very honest. So I don't. Some people might see that as being rude, but I think they're just very honest and very direct, and they know what they want. And I'm also actually probably a little bit very much the same. I'm not used to the Dutch weather because it's the same as England, but everything else I just adapted, and yeah, I've done really well since I moved here. In our personal lives also, after a year of renting, we bought our own home here. Professionally, both me and my husband, we've both done really well in our jobs. So for us, it was a really good move.
Great. I mean, congratulations also for making this move with two small children. I can imagine
Yeah.
it was a lot losing this support network, but I think it's very encouraging for other people to hear that also when you move, you can expect to find a new supportive network wherever
Yes,
if you go, if you
exactly.
seek it, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, it was about, I went to actually the local library because I wanted English books. Like at that point in time, years ago, there was only one bookstore. It didn't have any English books, and I wanted English books. So I joined the library. They had an English section, and then I saw something in the library about this play group, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go to that. And yeah, I wish now that it was a bit more digital. I mean, now, one of the things I did do was work with like International Almira, which was like a group of all those expat women who were on our own. We made this kind of network, and now it's totally took off, and it's something else. But if you need help when you arrive here, you can ask anyone a question. They have all kinds of resources. So that's something that grew from nothing, So yeah, so I wish I'd have had that when I came over. But yeah, I mean, you adapt and you change, and you as you said, you create your own friends and your own network. And yes, it's different from being at home with your own family, but yeah, you do it so you get by, and you have friends and the connections again.
Yeah, well, my following question was supposed to be what would be one advice for young people and young women maybe starting in the industry, but I think you already covered a bit some of the potential answers with this question.
Yeah, I think anyone who wants to work in marine, it's exciting. You get to see some very beautiful things, but you still have to work hard. You have to be good at your job, enjoy it. The most important thing for any job, and I think that's why I've always done fairly well in my work, is because I feel as though if I'm in a job, in my work more than I am at home. So I have to enjoy it. And if I enjoy it, you tend to be good at what you do. So enjoy it. You will see lots of nice things, but work hard. And also, network, get to know people. People remember you as well. That's why I love events, because you tend to see you meet a lot of people. And, if you're kind or you're welcoming, they always remember you, and vice versa.
Yeah, great. And then for the last question, can you give us one motivating quote for this week, maybe for somebody who's struggling to meet their deadlines or start towards a new goal?
I think I would say, I had a friend post something the other day, where you see friends post these inspirational posts, and she posted something, and it was like, there is somebody somewhere who remembers you for being kind, so always be kind. And I thought that's probably true. You hope you're kind, or that somebody remembers you for being like that. And I think another quote that sticks with me is, act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. Even if you don't think that, it does make a difference to somebody.
Nice, nice. I love that. Thank you, Michelle, ever so much for your time and sharing your experience and knowledge. Everyone who wants to follow more, I think, can find Yanmar at all social media and follow
Yes.
them. And of course, follow us at our Instagram page. So that's WIN_Women in Nautica, and also our LinkedIn. And stay tuned for the following episode. Bye.